Welcome, Mia, for joining us today. And this is a resolution in recognition of Mia Mora for her 10 years of service as the LEAF president. Whereas Mia Mora has been spent busy 10 years as a volunteer for local ecology and agricultural Fremont, known as LEAF, with the last 3 years as president. And whereas Mia has made a lasting legacy negotiating an agreement with the city of Fremont for a piece of the California Nursery Historical Park for the LEAF Center and continued that partnership to today, as well as additional partnerships with Dr. Chris Stone Payne and ACWD, resulting in the CR Stone Garden and the planning of a future urban garden. And whereas Mia, in her full-time LEAF volunteer role, was instrumental in building relationships that provided fundraising opportunities with Westover Winery, Fremont Bank, Niles Rotary, and Stop Waste, as well as working with local architects and businesses in providing in-kind donations and services. And whereas Mia was instrumental in forward movement on two of LEAF's most ambitious projects to date, relocating the LEAF Center to a long-term site within California Nursery Historical Park, and planning LEAF's future urban farm next to the Stone Garden. And whereas Mia's years of service have been marked by her exemplary dedication to the best interest and betterment of the community, working side by side with other dedicated volunteers in the growing of food for low-income residents since 2014, providing over 3,200 pounds of food donated to Tri-City Volunteers Food Bank. And whereas Mia's efforts and those of LEAF to provide volunteer opportunities to community, reaching out to many groups such as churches, local high schools, Girls and Boy Scout troops, Deaf Plus, and other volunteer community members, all in an ongoing effort of building the gardens, growing food, and educating the community in regenerative agriculture practices and sustainable living. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the City Council and the City of Fremont expresses its gratitude and sincere appreciation to Mia Mora for 10 years of dedication and excellent volunteer service, and to the LEAF organization for its ongoing efforts to make a difference in our communities, providing volunteer experiences, educational opportunities, and agricultural awareness. And so I know that also I'm going to turn it over now to our Community Services Director, Suzanne Wolf, to share a few words before Ms. Mora accepts the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor May. And I just wanted to, on behalf of the City and Community Services Department, thank Mia for all of her leadership and partnership with the City of Fremont these past 10 years, and her leadership as the LEAF president. And we know that she will not be leaving us here in Fremont, which is wonderful. She will continue her leadership as a rec commissioner, and for being really a partnership and coalition builder in our community. And that partnership means so much to us as she reaches out to community groups and really increases our important volunteer work in our community and opportunities for young people and all ages to really connect in our community. On behalf of all of us here, we want to thank you for that leadership and work. It means so much to us, Mia, and we want to thank you for all that you've done as we turn it over to you to say our gratitude and thanks to you. Mia?
Thank you, Suzanne. And thank you, Mayor May and council members. I am really honored by this commendation. You know, 10 years ago when I discovered LEAF, it was a couple of years after it had been founded. And initially, I took on LEAF's negotiations with the city for the future LEAF Center at the California Nursery Historical Park. Coming from a career in facilities management, much of the process of designing and building the community park, the community garden, was familiar to me, but fundraising and enlisting support from the community was not. So I began enlisting support from grantors, in-kind donors, contractors, and architects, other nonprofits that have been mentioned, and of course, volunteers, lots of volunteers. And I was unaware how grassroots nonprofits and their volunteers contribute to a community. Now I wonder how a city could function without their generosity. Community services staff and the city council have been so supportive of LEAF. There was no blueprint for allowing a young nonprofit to use part of a city park. So eventually, after we crafted an agreement for a temporary garden, here we are today, 10 years later, moving ahead together to build a permanent community garden at the location identified by the new park master plan. So the new LEAF Center will be unlike any other community garden in the Bay Area. It will be state-of-the-art, similar to the current garden. The permanent structures were designed with a nod to the agricultural history of the park and will include a lath house and an open-air shed for activities like classes and our annual Earth Day event. This will be the most expensive project LEAF has undertaken, and occurring during a pandemic to boot. Funding is going to be our biggest challenge. So elsewhere, community gardens are built and managed by cities, but our partnership is unique. Fremont's only public community garden is built and managed by a nonprofit, LEAF. So I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity and ask for help from the community to help build this vibrant state-of-the-art garden. It will have educational opportunities for LEAF, classes on gardening and sustainable living, as well as fun events like our Earth Day event. So if any of those of you attending or your employer can help, we're currently running a giving campaign on our website, fremontleaf.org. And I thank you again for this great honor. Be well. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mia. I have to say how wonderful it is to have the partnership and to encourage people to get outdoors and also to be part of making the solutions. Over the years, I've had the chance to come and see your community gardens, the bee farms, and experience some of the delicious vegetables, such as your eggplant I think you gave to me with some recipes at that time. And I would say if you're trying to start a garden, I know that you've done fundraisers in the past too, to allow people to get the seedlings to get that started. And so, as I would say, great things get started in Fremont, and certainly LEAF is one of those opportunities to allow us to grow and to continue to do so in a healthy way. And so thank you for your leadership and for the volunteers within LEAF to help make that difference.